Alrighty, hey guys. So this is gonna be a little bit of a different video today. I haven't ever done anything like this before on the channel, but I was bored today and wanted to make a sword. So I went to Lowe's and I bought a piece of steel, blowtorch that I've had for a little while, and that's what we're gonna do today. I've done a little bit of testing on this thing. I did some. I mean, you can't really see it on camera, I'm sure, but there's a little bit of where I just hit it while it was cold, and then I heated it up and hit it a little bit more, just to see if the blowtorch was going to be able to actually do anything with it. And it's going to be a lot of heating and then smacking things. And I'm not sure how well it's going to end up in the end. I didn't want to. This isn't going to be good. This is the first time I've ever done something with metalworking like this. I've done a little bit of metalworking with smaller stuff. I like wound some wire around a wooden sword handle, just to give it like balance and stuff. But it wasn't hot or anything like that. It was just me just coiling and smacking the metal so that it cooperated with me. So this is going to be a little bit different. I am going to have to get something for the handle. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be. What I wanted to do for this is I wanted to just beat off one edge, because I think that's going to be a lot easier to just round off one edge as opposed to trying to make two symmetrical curves. And that'll also make it, don't knock over the blowtorch, it'll also make it easier to do the handle and whatnot if I do it something like a katana or a ninjato, as opposed to like a sword, just because it also matches the dimensions of the piece of metal I have, and then the handle will be much easier to put on this. So I'm going to start, and I will get back to you when I get a little bit, well, after I've started, and we'll see. Oh, that's hot, don't touch that. And we'll see how it's going. Alright, so I think that's about as good as it's gonna get right now. So you can see it's kind of, the problem that I was having for a while, because I've had it in this shape for a good while now, is this top bit here. I can't really get this corner off of it, and I think the problem is, honestly, my little map gas torch here isn't really going to be able to get it hot enough to do too much. It definitely, I did try a little bit without it getting cold, like with the metal still cold, without heating it before I even started. I was barely able to dent it, but then when I heated it up, I was able to do this in a relatively short amount of time. So it definitely helps. It's not going to be, if I start doing this kind of at all for real, this is not going to work. But for right now, just for testing and trying to figure out if it's something that I enjoy doing, it works. Just knowing that it'll be easier to do it if I get proper equipment for it. Now the top is starting to bend a little bit around, so I'm gonna have to. I tried to fix that earlier, but I wasn't able to get it hot enough to really affect that too much. But what I'm gonna be doing now is I'm going to be I'm gonna get the hand grinder. And I'm going to grind these, well, I mean, I'm going to have to grind this corner down a lot to try to shape it up a little bit. Most of the shape is already there. So really the only shaping I'm going to have to do is that corner. Just a little bit more of a curve to get that to go into an end. And then I'm going to grind this leading edge here sharp. Or I'm going to try to. I'm going to see if I can do that. And we'll see how that goes. It's not going to be, I mean, it's not going to be nice to any standard, but it'll be the first one. That's that. So I'm going to move the camera, get set up with the grinder, and we're going to start working on this. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, so I just finished grinding the actual edge onto the blade. It's not pretty by any means, but it's decently sharp. So what I'm going to do next is I need to get some grinding wheels, because cutting wheels don't work very well and they wear out really quick. I went through 9 of them. I went through 9 grinding wheels. So I'm gonna have to buy my dad some more cutting wheels. He said he didn't care, but I'm gonna buy him some anyway. And then I'm gonna buy me some grinding wheels. Alright, so I'm gonna end up using this 1x2 that I used on other projects, other sword projects that weren't like I use this for wooden swords a couple of times. I thought it'd be fun to go full circle with that and use this to make my handle. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to be carving out one side just a little bit. I'm going to be using the drill press and carving out kind of a little niche for the blade to go in. So this will be a little bit indented, about halfway in. Basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be mirroring it twice. So it's just going to go in just a hair, so that this will sit between a block of wood on this side and a block of wood on the other side. And basically what they're going to let me do, that's going to let me have the blade inside, and then I'll be able to carve this up to make it more aesthetically pleasing and easier to hold, so it's not like I'm holding a 2x2. Alrighty, there we go. I got the tang beat down a little bit. It took a lot longer than I expected. Actually, it took me about an hour. Yeah, right at an hour. Since I finished the handles, I did finish the handles. Let me do those. Got these nice and cut down. I was gonna use the drill press or a Dremel tool to do this, but then I'm gonna say I wanted it to be like super like fancy and just do it by hand. But no, what happened was I was a weird kind of lazy and couldn't find the drill bits that I was looking for or the Dremel tool. So rather than spending a little bit of extra time finding the tools, I spent a lot of extra time and a lot of work doing them by hand with a chisel, which y'all saw. But there you go. That's just kind of the lazy person I am. I did more work because I didn't want to look for something. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, dudes. It's a new day. It's Monday, and I'm back. So we already had a discussion that I'm making this into a Chinese Dao, just because after I had finished the shaping of the blade, I kind of just went through and went through all of the different swords that I knew about, that I had learned about in previous times, and then did a little bit more research, kind of following up some of the names that I remembered. And it is going to be the Chinese Dao from the, I believe, Ying Dynasty. It was the Ying or the Song Dynasty. I don't remember whichever one was first. They were originally made out of bronze, but they were later made out of iron and steel. But basically, they're going to be these straight-edged, single-edged, straight-bladed, with a curve at the top. Swords about the kind of the same size as what we have. So this is kind of going to be an example of kind of an earlier one, but it also has a very nice at the bottom. So for the pommel, it's just kind of a round orb down here, and it's got a very simple crossguard that's going to be pretty easy to replicate. Honestly, these two pieces that I have here that are already cut are the right size and shape for the Dao. So I think I may just use those. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use those because that's really convenient. Well, then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to shave down this handle as much as I can to make it as thin as I can, and then we're gonna be wrapping a bunch of this wire. And if I use all of this wire, it'll just about balance out how I want the blade to balance, how I want the sword to feel in the end. So it'll have a dual purpose. It'll be to make it look better, and also to balance it out, because right now it's not very well balanced. So yeah, so I'm gonna start on that. I'm gonna start on the on shaving this thing down, and we'll see. We'll try not to mess this up. I may end up doing that, but I'm gonna try not to. So we'll see, and I'll be back. I'll be back when I'm finished. See how this goes. Alrighty, so finish that up. Handle is now nice and round and fits well into my hand. It's a little small, but that's what I wanted because I'm going to be wrapping this in steel wire. So I think I'm just going to honestly start with that. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. And so far, I'm loving this thing. It already feels way better now that it's got the handle is like holdable. Just because with the two 1x2s on it like that, it felt really big and clunky. And it already feels like it has a better balance simply because I can hold it properly. So that's awesome. So I'm gonna start wrapping it with wire and I'll be back when I've got the handle done. Alright, so I finished wrapping the hilt here in metal, in the steel wire. It worked pretty well. I'm seeing I cut out this piece here out of a little pine board and nailed it in. I'm waiting for the Gorilla Glue to set up all the way so that I can sand it and go from there. This thing is significantly heavier now, but it's way better balanced, and I can already tell this thing's gonna be so much fun to swing around. I'm about to go ahead and cut the I'm gonna cut those pieces over there that I had previously for the handle. I'm gonna have to smash this flat, but or actually I'll probably just cut that bit off, honestly. And then I can get those pieces nailed together and Gorilla Glued onto the hilt, onto the blade right here. So then I can have the cross hilt, and then I will have finished my first sword. Yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. So let's finish. I want to finish up I'm gonna make the cross hilt, and I'm gonna work on cleaning up the blade a little bit. Be back in a second. Alrighty, after 3 different days of work, about 25 bucks and about 10 to 15 hours, it's complete. I have finished it. It's awesome. I haven't been this thrilled about a project, having a project or finishing a project, or what I got from the project in a long time. This thing is awesome. I was able to get the balance of it a lot better, so it's actually swingable now with the steel wire on the bottom. I have to remember that trick for the future whenever I'm making swords, because I will be making more swords because this was awesome. Yeah, I can't stress enough how much fun this thing was to make. This thing, I don't know. I haven't done something this much fun or this awesome in a long time. It's super shiny. You can probably see that. It's reflecting off the sun. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I can, and it's awesome. I had a little pattern here that I stained with black and red stain. It's not super clean, but you know, it's got the pattern is nice. I got a little pattern here down here at the bottom as well. I just carved that out with a Dremel tool. You all saw that earlier. And then I brushed over the steel with the red stain so that it kind of stained the wood underneath as well as the steel. It's starting to kind of come off a little bit on my hand, just where I've been holding it, so that's not gonna stay on there. But it was cool. It was a cool idea, and I wanted to try it. Didn't work, but hey, it's whatever. This thing is awesome. So we're gonna end this video with something that you always do with a sword, and we're gonna cut up some watermelon because Why would you not cut up watermelon? If I just built a sword, I need to cut up a watermelon with it. So, I'll be back. Feast on the hearts of your enemies.